up a seat to the bar and join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tansen, Jess, and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk. Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 10.28, The Barabbus Switch, where we are covering the novel Death Masks. My name is Tansen, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
Who apparently has died. What is that face
You
you're
see
making?
this coming, right? Like,
I don't.
I'm like a shock to you.
Surprised by it every time. I'm never ready. We want to send a special shout out and thank you to Jonathan Albert for buying us a pitcher on Patreon. By supporting us at this level, Jonathan now gets special Discord Patreon access to live events, a McAnally's t-shirt, a McAnally sticker, behind-the-scenes episode notes, episode outtakes, and of course, our absolute undying love and support. A huge thank you to Jonathan for all of the support. If you'd also like to grab us a pitcher, pint, or sampler to get loads of fun perks and exclusive merchandise, check out our Patreon channel today.
Chapter 31. Harry and the Knights arrive at the airport and begin to hunt down Nicodemus. They make their way to the chapel and find the end of a deadly ritual with Shiro at the center. Surprisingly, Shiro is still alive. He gives Harry his sword to find its new owner and provides information on how to stop Nicodemus before passing. Dresden takes them to the tarmac to hitch a helicopter ride with a certain gentleman of distinction.
Okay, ladies, how does this chapter start?
Harry arriving at the rental parking lot.
5 minutes after 7.
Say, we have your timeline back on again. Just after 7.
So if it was 6 o'clock sundown, then it took an hour to go through the duel and to get to O'Hare, I'm okay with that, but it's just like...
Whoa. He clearly did not have a farmer's almanac when he was
didn't think about it at all. Was not keeping track of his shit.
Wait a minute, Butcher.
Everyone showed up early, so we just started.
Yeah.
I did intense research on incendiary rounds and what they would do to a shotgun, okay? I did not
Yeah,
have time to figure out when the sun came up and went down.
It's just a little bit far.
This is fake Chicago, okay? They only have 11 hours in the day.
Artistic license, okay? Shut up. The sky wasn't really a milky white, okay?
So they do arrive at the airport. Michael and Sonia arrive shortly after. And
The author said it was 7 o'clock. What do you think he meant by that?
Wait,
Central Standard Time?
Wait,
or
he doesn't say if it's AM or PM either. It just says 5 minutes after 7 what?
Yeah. He sat down and took a 12-hour nap.
Universal time. Universal time.
7
right?
what?
Yeah.
What does Cabal call it? 7 chronal Johannes hours or something like that?
Oh, yeah, his thing. I don't know what he calls it, but I was just
There's
thinking, I was
some
like,
weird term in there that he uses.
what if this whole time Harry's just using the doomsday clock? We're 7 minutes to midnight. We're 4 minutes to midnight.
So Harry does update them on the outcome of the duel. And Harry notices the smell of metal and confirms Michael is wearing his armor. And Michael assures him, it'll be fine regardless of metal detectors. Things will just work out. It'll be great.
This whole thing is kind of good because he shows up, so Michael's like, oh, you won. And he's like, not exactly. And he's like, so you lost? Not exactly.
We both just walked away as if it hadn't even happened. Only Ortega's definitely going to kill my friends now.
We left a whole bunch of dead extras on the field, but the 2 main players just walked out of there, okay?
By the way, just keep an eye out for any laser targets on your chest.
Yeah, right? Just so you know. Oh, Sonia, this probably applies to you now, too.
Please talk into this pen.
I know we probably met a couple days ago, but just so you know.
Yeah, fuck.
So, yeah,
This is what I was
that-
thinking of last chapter, though, is that if he's really on top of his shit and he's getting Harry pegged no matter where he goes, he should have been...
You're so bad.
Well,
You guys are the worst. I am like a nice little girl. I live my world.
I would
as a
believe
bitch.
that if you didn't get the references when we
And
made
the
them.
two of you are just so awful.
If you were confused, I would believe that. But the fact that
we've already made BDSM jokes for one of the chapters. Come on. Don't be shocked here.
yeah, no one's
Okay, Ortega.
You're about as sincere as Quintus Cassius here, okay? We don't believe you're sorry. And
Ortega, if he's really on top of his shit and he's following Dresden so well, Dresden should have been like, oh yeah, do you know where Shiro is, by the way? Could you just tell me where that guy is? You're following him now, aren't you?
yeah, right.
Me and him helped carry in groceries. Can you just tell me where they took him after Underground?
I didn't put him on the list. I figured he was just
He's gonna
fucking.
die
I was like,
anyways.
oh, he's the one. Yeah, he's like, oh, I took his guy off like a day ago. Sorry.
It's like reverse. It's like reverse vampires. Like he can't see the Knights of the Cross in the mirror. Like, there was a guy there.
It's like, what? I didn't see.
That's not on my
anything.
radar.
Yeah, but in this recap, he also was like, well, is Susan all right at least? And he's like, oh, she got thrown about 25, what was it, yards, feet? Yeah, 25 yards through the air into like steel and concrete. She'll be fine. Alrighty. Well, yeah, so then he notices and it's like, Michael, are you wearing the armor? And he's like, yes. And the cape. And he's like, Michael, airport, detectors. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah. Is the sound of alarms going off? How we know it's fine? And then he's like, see, he doesn't have all the armor to Sonya. And Sonya's like, oh, I got right.
Kevlar.
Oh, but yeah, we find out for some reason that Sonya's now dressed like a cowboy. He's in blue denim with like a denim jacket or whatever and a cowboy hat, which, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tall black Russian in a cowboy hat. I don't know, whatever. I work with it, I guess.
This is my Chicago outfit.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude, when you said you were with the Russian outfit, it's not what we meant. But, yeah. And
Lots
he's,
of bravado between the two of them, though. It's just like this little bit of a backbiting, which is better.
yeah, well, and he's always like, well, I've got a flak jacket, right? He's like, I've got a Kevlar vest. He's like, okay, see, that's like sensible. You know, Harry's like, it's like sensible. And Michael's like, well, it's not going to stop like claws and teeth and stuff like that. And Sonya's all like, well, yours won't stop bullets. And Michael just like, my faith will protect me. And they're like,
but not Sonya.
yeah. Well, okay, but we know Sonya himself
have
isn't there
faith.
for the faith. Yeah, we know that his is just a belief in doing the right and wrong, whereas Michael specifically comes from the faith in the Lord. But yeah, it's just, right, it's just like this great moment back and forth of just like...
Mine's better. No, mine is.
Yeah.
No, mine's better.
Yeah, but okay. But Sonya still just looks like a normal person in jeans, Michael. He's not, doesn't look like, oh yeah, he even says that. He's like, he doesn't look like he escaped from a Renaissance fair or something, you know what I mean? It's like, the cloak and armor is so distinct.
So we were saying that it's cool that the Mordite aura doesn't hurt anything. As long as you don't touch it, you're good. It can apparently glow and fizzle and bubble whatever the fuck it wants, and you're fine until you actually touch it. And similarly, like, Nicodemus has this disgusting aura oozing all over the place. Because
Yeah.
Why does it smell rotten?
Yeah, Michael starts literally like smelling it. And then, you know, I don't smell anything. And then, yeah, Sonya starts getting, Sonya's like, I just smell like rotten. He's like, yeah, that's it. That's, it's like, you sure it's not just
Harry's like,
the restaurant? Yeah.
I don't smell shit, man. I don't
It smells like my house.
Yeah, I forget what he called. My phone died, so I don't have a book anymore. But he says, yeah, there's like a whatever McDonald's down the street, you know? And you're like, no, it's not that.
There's a Pizza Hut kiosk about 50 feet away.
It could just be coincidence. So yeah, so now they got to try and figure out where and how they're gonna go.
Well, and like, so you smell this rotten, and Michael says, he's like, oh, that's arrogance, ambition, disregard. And Harry turns around and he sees Rudolph.
Well, yeah, that too.
Right, I missed that connection there. That's good.
Yeah, because at first she's like, how are we going to find him? And Michael's just like, oh, we will. Because he's like, where do we go? And Michael's like, oh, I'll just drive around and we will know where to stop. And yeah.
Ping!
All of a sudden, yeah, exactly. Then, yes, exactly. Harry looks out the window and there's fucking Rudolph and somebody from like the DA's office.
And of course, you have to have
that.
a Star Wars joke before then, too.
Oh, yes. I sense a disturbance on the floor.
Do you? No.
Oh,
Damn it, Michael.
Tries again. Nah, still not getting shit.
But yes. Yeah, I thought so. He's like, oh shit, tries to like scrunch down and he like,
Steal
good thing
Sonia's
Sonia
stuff.
decided to wear a hat because all of a sudden I need something. So now we know why my son's
This is the point that Harry has his coat and the hat.
his coat and his hat. And see,
And he's ready for the old Western.
someone noticed, and this is it. This is like, yeah, it's like, I saw you at the airport that one time. I just can't picture you without a hat now. Yeah. So, yeah, very, very like,
stuck.
Yeah, and they're stuck there because he's waiting for like this cab to move so that the truck can move and go park, and they're just hanging out next to Rudolph or on
Like, the most non-suspicious man in an airport while they're looking for suspicious men in an airport.
yeah, right. But so finally, and so then now they have so this is the only thing I'm like, I get it and I don't get it. Again, it's one of those. So he phones up Murphy and is like, hey, they're going to be doing this big bad stuff at the airport. Get a bunch of guys down to the airport so that you can like hopefully clear them out. And right, so she gets a bunch of cops there to try and because again, the supernatural doesn't like to meddle with the mortal world and get the mortals involved and da 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 da. And then, as soon as he shows up, Michael and Sonia are like, no, too many people, get him out of here. Now he's got to get rid of the cops, and he just goes, I was like, well,
Well, yeah, he was hoping that would deter them, but
Yeah.
then Michael's like, no, he'll just kill them. Like,
Yeah.
he don't give shit.
you know, shit, and it's just more people in here, right? He's like, the more people to spread it to, the more, so now we got, but it's like, well, why didn't you just do that in the first place? Why didn't you just
What we need now is a terrorist
Yeah,
threat.
you're supposed to call a bomb threat to evacuate the airport. Not...
Yeah, but it's more just like, why didn't you do that? I mean, I guess other than they know that that's where he's going to be, but you know what I mean? It's just like, you could have emptied all these people out beforehand before he started getting there with his, but...
Right. Well,
whatever,
and
he
Harry
didn't.
also mentions the crucial part is that you really do have to get rid of. They have to do something sooner than later because if more people that die and get hurt, the stronger the Daenerys become.
That too, they draw
So it's-
power and whatever from the chaos and destruction that they sow. So yeah,
This is literally the ticking time bomb.
yeah, because
So they have to figuratively call it in.
yeah, the more
But this is the issue too, is that he calls Murphy to do this, and he's like, all right, here's the plan. And this is, again, one of those secret moments where we don't get to actually know what he says, right?
no, what do you? Because he does say he's like.
I just told her what was going on.
Yeah, he's like, we
Okay.
can call because he's like, because Sonya's like, you know how to call in a bomb threat, and he's like, no, but I know who does.
Yeah. But point is that, like, we already know he's
we don't
given
know
Murphy
the
a secret mission already,
Yeah.
and now he's just like, oh, by the way, calling a bomb threat while you do whatever the fuck it was I asked you to go do.
Yeah, and again, she's like, do you know how serious this is? And he's like, yeah, but it's gonna be more serious if all these people get infected, so...
Worse than the Loop Guru, which we know from Murphy was a horrible, horrible event.
He's
for
like, I'm
her.
on it.
That was the thing that broke Murphy, kind of, like, that was her big thing.
She lost her partner, plus a lot of other cops in the whole...
She's afraid of dogs.
She doesn't like in the whole thing, but I mean, exactly like that to her, there was that personal but professional element of there was a lot of her men that died because it was in the police holding, and it was not even just other random cops, but like the guys from SI, her partner, and then just a bunch of other randos.
It was an appropriate inspiration for her to get on this shit now.
Conveyed sort of the right amount of, yes, I know what I'm asking.
And he makes this
is why
comment to her, too, and he's like, muscle's fine, but I'm short on his time, right? Yeah, I know, dude, because you've been wasting it all over the place. You're just leaving 3 hours at McAnally's for no problem, and leaving 3 hours at your apartment with no problem.
Like, do you just forget to wind your watch, Harry?
Like, come on, man.
I
swear it's all going to come out in the wash when my timeline theory proves correct, though, okay? All these little things are going to be filled
all
in.
these little anachronisms.
All filled in, it'll be okay.
All of it. It's all going to make sense.
Butcher, you can A, prove me right, and B, fix every little plot device that you've ever had a problem with in one fell swoop. And most importantly, prove me right.
Or you could just choose not to and continue.
Just don't acknowledge it at all like every other author who's ever come before you.
All right.
Or...
I see, that was the thing. In CSI, I remember, and I don't know if I did miss it somewhere, but the first few seasons I did watch fairly consistently, and I remember they started this whole thing where, like, Grissom was, like, losing his hearing, and then, like, after a season or two, it just seemed to not be a thing, and never, and I was like, what did
Drop
they just...
storylines.
Yeah, I was like, did they just decide they couldn't make him, like...
too difficult,
they're like,
forget about
we
it.
can't make him deaf, it'll be... And then, yeah, it was just all of a sudden, it was like this big thing of that, it was, like... irreparable and non-reversible, and then all of a sudden it just never comes up again.
Miraculous.
Yeah, and I was like, what happened to this degenerative hearing loss that your main character had? But okay. So, Anyways, yeah, so they're gonna clear them all out and get going.
So the group prepares, and they arm themselves with their swords and in some cases assault rifles. And almost right away, like, Murphy is on it so fast that people start evacuating the airport, and so the group heads for the surface entrances to see if they can find a way in. That's
One issue
inconspicuous.
about a bomb threat, though, is that that's still going to create fear, right? And that's, something that helps powers Nicodemus' shit, right?
Yeah.
So what you really need to do is call in, like, free ice cream in the next at the Pizza Hut 50 feet away.
Close, but not quite, because all those lactose intolerant are just gonna be like, I'm not missing my flight for ice cream. So,
But yeah.
you gotta have right idea. You gotta have a better lure than that.
There's a brand new airport over there. Go right now.
Yeah, no waiting in line.
Yeah.
Get through like this.
Something, because, all that fear and stuff like that is going to help him, at least
Yeah.
residually, too. Still better than having the people around to
Still-
catch the Black Plague, but...
Yeah, less fear that way. Plus, I don't know, does it have any bearing on if it's not like his generated / inspired, It's like, they're afraid of something else. I didn't cause this fear. I don't know. But while Harry's taking, because he makes sure first of all that they have like Shiro's sword, because he's like, he's gonna need that back. And Michael's like, yeah, sure he is. Yeah, it's okay, Harry, we brought it. But then again, we get this modern versus throwback, where Michael has his cape and armor, and Sonya pulls out like a Kalashnikov. And Harry's like,
I'm a
I kind of
progressive.
like this whole progressive modern thing. It's just.
It is kind of
Yeah.
cool, like, if you kind of fall into this routine of, like, okay, the Knights of the Cross are, like, the Knights of the Cross. They fucking are knights. And then you meet a cool modern one. You're like, Michael, this is so much cooler. Why don't you update ever?
Yeah, like, wait a minute, a knight doesn't have to
You
be
have
an
an
actual,
op
like, old-fashioned
knight?
medieval knight.
That guy's a samurai. This guy's a fucking Russian mobster. Why are you so boring, Michael?
Well, except the samurai could also
Well, you gotta set up the
be-
standard
they
first
just-
before you show up
Yeah.
variety.
It's like, hey, this
Yeah.
is just my whole, you do you, boo, okay? That's samurai spice. This is, like, Kalashnikov spice. I'm just Renaissance spice, okay?
Yeah.
This is my thing. So,
Can't wait for lightsaber spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
maybe-
the?
So, sorry, just because I noticed this, like, they make them really cute cocky. He's like, because Michael's like, it's so pretty unpredictable. You could shoot other people, and he's like, I won't shoot Shiro. He's like, okay. It's like, what happens if you shoot Shiro? He's like, I'm not gonna shoot him. Okay.
So they try to figure out where Nicodemus might be, and they almost once they stop and think about it, they almost immediately all together go the chapel.
The capital. That is the airport capital right there.
Totally fair, though, because, like, fucking Calgary International Airport is insane. It's huge. I wouldn't know where to start, and O'Hare is, like,
Gotta be
you know,
way the fuck big.
accounting for, like, times a few million more a day that, like, I don't even know what the numbers would be to go through O'Hare, but...
How would you even evacuate the Calgary airport? Like, it's like it would take you like 4 or 5 hours. Like, there's only one way in and one way
there's nowhere
out.
to go. We don't have the tarmacs, I guess, where all the airplanes are, but other than that, like, our airport has got no place to go. Like, I don't know, go stand on the highway? Like,
Let's all get in a traffic jam, get out of our cars, and walk.
literally, like, I
Yeah.
don't know what you would do, but, like, we'd be fucked.
All right.
Yeah, Let's hope we never have to experience a bomb threat at Calgary International Airport.
Good to the three of us who never go on vacation. We're
Yes.
at the airport.
I never
Should
have
be
to worry
easy to
about
do.
it.
Yeah, it's good.
More likely going to drive there.
Make a joke, but it might be too soon for that.
So the trio make their way to the chapel, but run into a machine gun toting thug, and Harry and Sonya mostly get out of the way. Yeah. And Michael takes out the gunman with his sword, driving it through the door right into him.
Through the door to hit the thug on the other side of the door. That's crazy.
That's sneaking up so he can open the door to just mow them all down. Because that's the thing, right? Harry's like barely notices him by luck of looking the right way first when he comes out of this thing. And then, Sonya does a really quick flip him and take the shots because we know he's got his nice Kevlar vest on. And then, while they're tripping over each other, the guy's sneaking up. And, nobody expects a sword through the door
No.
when you're... But, that was what I was going to say. Harry's like, we're like shooting gallery.
Totally.
Like, we're stuck in a stairwell here,
Yep.
right? He's easy. So yeah,
Gotta
and then,
go.
and
Yep.
yeah. So it's beautiful too because it's like while they're struggling, it's not even like Michael just like steps over them and
It's very efficient.
he's very efficient and if you're gonna
God
be where
will
you
provide.
need to be when you need to be yeah exactly.
Well, they found out in that interaction that Sonya was actually quasi-shot and was saved by his vest from one of those bullets. And like the Kevlar vests, you still feel a hell of an impact. So he's
you
like a
feel the
badass where all he does is go, ugh.
Yeah,
But the problem with Kevlar is that they're almost useless after one hit.
Yeah.
Once the pressure has been released, okay, it's still a barrier that might slow down the bullet, but one shot is all it takes to release the pressure that stops the bullets.
Protect the rest of
Yeah.
it.
After that,
I did
you
not know
just-
that about a Kevlar vest.
After that, you're just reliant on the padding itself to
physical,
hopefully
yeah.
slow down the bullet. But
What are
they can only take
how many
one shot.
times are you gonna get shot? Yeah.
Kevlar's not
I
reusable because once it's taken one bullet, it loses whatever that pressure is and it's done for now.
So in the movies,
It's not
it only
reliable.
works because they get shot instantly. Like they get all three at the same time, kind
Yeah,
of a thing, and that's why.
basically,
Well, no, that's the same thing actually with helmets too. Like that's
yeah, you're only allowed one crash with a helmet.
Yeah.
So if you accidentally drop your helmet, it's actually
You're supposed to get rid of it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Cops are supposed to replace their Kevlar every time they go out into the field with it because it takes just, as soon as it releases that pressure, it's useless to you.
Yeah, I did not know that was a thing with it. I thought it was just sort of the barrier stuff
Yeah.
on it. I didn't realize it sort of had that other component to it.
Which is why in
Interesting.
movies, when they're like, let's go practice and see how good this Kevlar is, can't do that in real life because it's just wasted then. It's
Yes.
done for.
Yeah, interesting that way. And he's lucky, I guess, because Dresden's also like, you're lucky it had to go through like a door first and slow down a little. So apparently that was also not taking several hits straight on. So
Crazy.
crazy.
They check this gunman's mouth and find that he's lacking a tongue, which verifies a Nick thug.
Yep, no questions asked. No questions answered there either, I guess.
What if he could, but he can't
Yeah.
for several deadly reasons.
Yeah. Ugh. I wouldn't want to work for Nick. I don't care how good your
But the
dental.
Right? That comes in so many times. I think there's at least 3 dental references. I'm like, what is with it? Butcher was like,
Butcher was just starting to get the money to finally pay off his dental bills by the time this book came out.
His kid was going through like orthodontics at the time. It was like fucking dead.
Fucking American healthcare.
overdue dental bills right next to his computer while he's typing.
Yeah. The sooner you finish the book, the sooner your kid gets braces.
Let daddy write if you want a nice smile. So they quickly make their way down to the chapel, and lo and behold, there's a couple more goons coming out, which thankfully are a little slow on the uptake or whatever. They're... Oh shit, you guys are here already? Fucking on a second, I gotta load my gun.
I thought we just had to cut out our tongues. No one said there was going to be a
What?
physical component to
There's
this.
more. We just did a whole thing in there. What? Yeah. So
Harry takes a large portion of them out with his staff, just smacking them back.
boom, boom, boom. Again, that just, be one of those great typical movie moments where you just...
I guess technically Sonya does a machine gun whip. It's not quite a pistol whip.
Yes.
Whack.
Yeah, Harry bonks him a couple times and he just finishes the job with that last. So thankfully those guys were easy to take out. And then we get your basic chapel...
Little airport thing,
little airport, yeah, sort of like no specific religious right,
Meant
it's
to
like
accommodate anyone who needs it.
Except, and again, this is just a great line here where he's like, any one of them would have felt profaned by what had been done to the room. And you're just, again, this is just another moment I was like, I don't read this, I don't want to know what how I don't like this part, don't like this. It just, sometimes the description's too good,
Sigils in blood and evidence of a nefarious ritual. And Shiro at the center.
Man, looks dreadful. It's just bad.
It's
Bad things have happened to Shiro.
really brutal.
Yeah.
Worse than what happened in that motel room.
That was sort of quick and brutal and all just the same thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna break a couple bones. But he has had so many various types of things inflicted upon him. It's not just it's not just like, ooh, we're gonna cut you up a little. It's not just like, ooh, we're gonna do everything we possibly can.
Whips and chains and blood, oh my.
And terrible. And like, everything's just like swollen and puffy. It's terrible.
It's really upsetting.
It's really very upsetting. Yeah, it's terrible. So Harry's pretty bummed out at this point.
I remember, I listened to this chapter most recently as, like, I listened to it when I did this one. And yeah, I remember being at work, just being like, okay, all right, yep, we get it, okay, cool, yep, cool,
Yep.
Are we back? Yeah.
No, and he just keeps going.
Are you ready? Yeah,
there's
you
just
know,
more.
trying to talk over it, so I'm like, okay.
Well, Harry at this part pretty much like experiences like this loss, like complete loss of faith right then and there.
Yeah,
Like,
he's kind of at the give up. He's like, we're too late. We didn't save him. Like, this whole time, he's like, we're gonna, Shiro, because Susan is even like, what do you mean we're gonna go back for Shiro, or, has a poker face or whatever, right? And he's like, we gotta get the sword back. And Michael's like, right. And Harry's like, just trying to convince himself, or is convinced, like, God's not gonna let him die the night of the cross. He'll be fine. He's gonna come out of this. And
I mean, Shiro sacrificed himself for Harry. He treated himself for Harry.
Well, that too, and he's going to find out even how much more in a moment here with, but exactly, he already knows that, he came to the rescue and got him out. And then, and it's like one of the, again, like this focusing on details, right? Where he's like, there's so much blood. Like, Shiro's not a very big guy. Like, there's too much blood here,
it's almost like,
shock.
Well, it probably just is shock.
Yeah.
He had all the hope and faith that they would find him.
Well,
and
I'm batting on Team God. He's supposed to be protecting you three. Fuck me, but
you always
guys
show
are
up
fucking...
at the right place at the right time to do the right thing for hit. Yeah, who the hell is Harry Dresden?
Yep.
Yeah, it's and he does. He takes this moment of like disconnect, this shock, this whatever, where he's like, that's it. And then Michael's like, okay, well, we got to keep going. There's still things to do. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, right? They have to, get him back going into it too. And it's just, you feel, because, like you say, obviously Michael has known Shiro a very long time. Sonia has known him a reasonable amount of time to have been trained by him or whatever. And Harry like just met him. And yet again, right? It's this. Shiro swapped himself for this guy. I was supposed to come back and save him. I was supposed to,
repay my debt.
Like, oh, you did one for me, I'm gonna do one for you, and yeah, he's like, he's gone, we miss, and Michael starts, and he's like, if you start about faith, like, I'll kill you. He's like, you don't mean that. He's like, shut up, Michael. Like, just, like, he's like, I can't take it right now. Don't try and talk me into the good thing or say it was meant to be, or he's just
none of that.
Yeah, and then Jesus Christ, Shiro scares the fuck out of him.
Right. Well, and every single time he's talked about Shiro, once he's been captured, no options has just been saying, we are going to get him back. I think he really just truly thinks there is no other option, like, that this is just going to happen. Like,
not just...
doesn't even, like, entertain the fact that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how it's going to go.
Not even that he's necessarily trying to convince himself, but he already is convinced. Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, yeah. Which is just, again, all the more heartbreaking, because Harry usually is, pragmatic enough. He's like, I want to save all my friends, but, we're going up into a big fairy cloud thing. Some of y'all might die. Like, it's, like, volunteers only. I don't want, like, me and Murphy are facing bad guys that, some, right? He's, like, always that. And in this one, he just, like you say, right, is just holding on to that. But not this time. Not this time. This time, we're going to get there in time. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. We're going to get him.
I think for the most part, up to this point, anybody that's been close to him, that he's sort of bonded with, and any of these conflicts have made it through successfully.
Most time, again, there have been those last nick of time, saved you, and oh wow, I expected we were going to lose a couple.
That's part of the loyalty that everyone has to Harry, though, is that he's gotten these people out of some really bad situations, right? Most people who go into it with Harry are not dying at the end of it because he wouldn't have that many allies. It's the fact that Harry's managed to save all of his friends time and time and time again with few casualties that make it that much harder to be like, fuck, we lost this one.
For how much the odds are stacked against. I was going to say, it's even like a few episodes we were talking about the therapist, and you're like, Harry can't go to a therapist because the therapist is like, but you save everybody. You can't come in here and tell me you can't save people. And I'm like, it's true. That's the same thing, right? It's like, whether intentional or not, Harry has...
trust him to win the day.
Either by word of mouth or people that have seen him or whatever. And exactly why all these enemies keep getting pissed off. They're like, this fucking cockroach, we can't kill him. And
we're not there yet, but the law...
all these little guys.
...was so good, right? And the girl was like... Harry's like, I'm not the best person for you. You could have gone to a cop, you could have gone to a fucking firefighter or a mailman, or any of these other people could have helped you, right? And she's like, yeah, but you're the person people come to for a miracle. I don't need a cop. I don't need a doctor. I need a miracle.
Yeah.
You're the miracle worker. You're the guy I'm here for.
Yeah. Crazy. It's just, yeah. So, yeah, Harry's letting himself, right? He's like, everyone else is ready for the alternative, and Harry's the one that's not in this case. He's like, yeah.
But like you said, he puts the sword down, and Shiro is actually, in fact, alive. Barely.
Yeah, hello, Michael! And then Shiro, to the last moment. Ugh, I was getting tired of waiting for you guys. Like, but even this, right? Because he's only got the one eye. It's not even just because we're used to, like, being beat up and having, like, a black eye. I'm like, no, he's, like, just only got the, ugh, yeah.
Right. He gives him quite a bit of information at this point.
A lot.
So he mentions Nick's noose and the Barabbus curse. Michael explains a little bit more about the noose and how it doesn't allow Nicodemus to die. But not only that, the curse itself allows Nick to mandate a death that can't be avoided.
Yeah.
And Shiro states that the curse was actually used on Dresden. And Harry makes that connection that entropy curse was actually the
Barabbus curse. So turns out it wasn't Snake Boy throwing an entropy curse at them or whatever.
Infinitely worse.
It was infinitely worse. So I think this, again, going back to that point, so which had more effect now? Because we were very much like, I think his wards were good enough to block this. Was it because Shiro switched places and took it upon him or was it did his defenses block it out before that switch was made over, or is that part of what made the curse, that's kind of an interesting thing at this point. You're like, oh, was it simply his wards now that deflected the whole thing, or
was there divine intervention?
Was Shiro sort of stepping in and taking that place? Like, oh, okay, well, also it's just not aimed at you anymore, so there's nothing to... there's nothing, it's gone already, your curses don't have to keep, your wards don't have to keep anything out, or...
What was the time frame, like the timeline again through that? Like, did Shiro already
I'd say we're roughly 19 hours.
Yeah, we did, right?
Yeah. We're like 19 hours from Shiro.
That was after saving him from...
And then...
Yeah, because that was him and Susan jumping out of the...
Right, because he got away, so that...
Because he got kidnapped after the gala.
I'm sorry you're dying, Shiro, but I got laid.
Thanks.
You're a real bro.
Yeah, right? Like...
Yeah, it's...
Kind of vague. Like, it could be at any point that they... could have done a substitute in for it, like...
Well, this is the thing about, I think it's this part, my phone is dead now too, so correct me if I'm wrong, but when Harry puts it together about the bowl, right? Like, they wanted the bowl for Harry's blood to do a ritual with, and obviously they just use that for Shiro's, right? So it's like...
Yeah. I think some of that came when they were talking to, Snake Boy, because that's when he's putting it together too, because he's like, Nick didn't really give anything away, but he's like, his daughter did because she wanted the bowl.
Oh, right, yes.
So I know there's more to it going, like, yeah, again, and this is part of the reason why he figures they didn't just off Shiro right away, because they're like, no, they're going to use it, they want to, they were going to use me for this spell ritual stuff, now they're probably going to use Shiro, but yeah, same thing as that, we know about it at this, yeah.
I'm still confused about what the Barabbus curse is, though, honestly.
Barabbus.
So,
okay, I'll give you the explanation they give here, if that works. So, the Romans put it within the power of the Jews to choose one condemned prisoner each year to be pardoned and given life. The noose allows Nicodemus to mandate a death. So, where they were like, we're going to choose one person to live, and that's, the Pilate, whatever, the
Pontius
Caesar, I was like, what are those hair, But yeah, the Caesar whatever was like, so this is where he gets, because he's the bad guy, he gets the flip thing that I'm like, I'm going to say this one person is going to die, and they cannot get out of it. This person's going to die. He's going to mandate this death. So yeah, so back in the original, that was it, is that Pontius, they finally get Jesus, they bring him to Pontius Pilate, and Pontius Pilate's like, okay, so this guy says he's like the king of the Jews, he says he's God, big whoop, he doesn't seem like a big threat to me, he hasn't really done anything wrong, like... Do you guys just want me to let him go? Because he seems like... And they were like, no. They're like, release Barabbas instead. And Barabbas was this terrible person. He was a crook and a murderer, and I forget all the things. But Barabbas was not a nice guy. And instead of Jesus Christ, who, as far as Pontius Pilate could tell, was just kind of a kook. He said he was God, or the Son of God. And, and they're like, no, give us the big, badass, scary biker dude,
evil guy,
killer, mobster guy. Yeah, so anyways, that was the whole thing there. So, yeah, so... That was where they let Barabbas go, so yeah, so it's he was the prisoner.
Not that Maggie thinks bikers are on the same level as murderers.
I'm scary looking. I know a lot of
all
bikers.
Your friends are bikers.
I know.
I'm not trying to kill them off.
I had to giggle a little bit at that. And suddenly I was thinking of The Life of Brian. And just imagining like one of the extras in a biker jacket.
I'm just imagining all of our friends that are bikers and all of our family that are bikers. And she's just like,
okay,
yeah, fuck
so
those guys, criminals.
The visual, y'all know what I mean. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, yeah.
Okay, so point is that like when Nicodemus said it had to be Harry Dresden,
Harry's
was like,
gonna
oh wait,
die.
never mind. It's
Yeah.
gonna be Nick or Shiro.
So that's what he said is Nick has the power to mandate this one. So basically, if Nick fingers you,
And what's it? Once a year?
oh,
It's once a year.
yes, yeah, because it was one condemned prisoner each year,
Yeah.
pardoned and given life. So so I guess basically once a
Assuming
year,
it's
whatever,
like 1 year for.
give or take
Gosh.
over that.
I don't want to
The
like.
knights do have the ability to substitute them in. They can't cancel out the curse, but they can sacrifice
Step in front of
themselves,
it.
which is
They can
what
step in front of it.
Yeah,
which it's Shiro's basically telling him, I'm sorry, I still will be dying, and that's here.
Yeah, because he's like, rush him to the hospital, and Shiro's like, dude,
it's happening. I already took this burden.
I mean, again, from the looks of him, I don't think it was him. I mean, again,
make it
like,
anyways.
they're shocked that there's still a breath of life in this guy anyways, but he's like, you don't have time to get me there, and even if you did, it doesn't matter anything that they could do.
So Shiro tells Harry to take his sword and to give it to somebody who he thinks it should belong to the right person. And he does tell Harry that Nick is afraid of him and that he needs to get the shroud from him right away. Because once Nick is not touching the shroud, that curse will end.
Yeah.
And he also shares with them, like, this is the great part where he's like, well, we don't know where he is now. And he's like, oh, no, I overheard them while they thought I was dead, that his backup plan is a train to St. Louis.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
And then he dies.
It's okay. They totally thought I was dead, too, so...
Isn't that where like Michael and Sonia just came from? They were just arrested in St. Louis.
Actually, yes.
They just waited another 12 hours. They'd already been there.
See, that's that whole throw you know, there's no better lie than something with a grain of truth in it. So it's like, there's something in St. Louis. Oh, no, just kidding. Haha, no, there really is going to be something in St. Louis.
So, you know, despite all of this, he managed to take the curse from Dresden. He managed to redirect it. He took the torture. He got Dresden free. He listened into the battle plan and was able to tell them where to go next, right?
Yeah.
But Shiro also, remember, like, 13 chapters ago or whatever, when they met at McAnally's, he was the first one to suggest that the Reds actually did want this war to continue to go on. And it wasn't Harry who actually started the war, that it had been going for years beforehand and stuff like that, too. Like,
Well, he was just the catalyst. He was the good
he was
excuse.
circumstantial.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't the cause of it. He was just a good excuse. Yeah.
but, like, Shiro's the first one to bring
Stuff was
that up
in the
and
works,
mention that. And it's like,
and put another spin
put
on
another
that.
spin on that one, too. So it's like, this little dude.
Had just
Totally
a
fun.
wealth of information. Just all kinds of. Yeah, and there's there's like the white elephant thing. There's only like one tradesy, you know. It's like now that Shiro's taken it, nobody else can swap it from him, or, you know, Harry can't take it back, Michael can't take it off, you know, and all of that too. So yeah. Shiro, brief but very important character.
Very consequential.
And very consequential in a lot of things, and he just gets in there. You know, you're just like, Shiro, my man. So, yeah.
This is a hard death.
This is a hard death for, again, considering the length of time and really how little. We have not even seen a shit ton of Shiro this book. Like, a little more than maybe Sonya, but, you know, he's not. And yet,
Those Knights of the Cross, man. They're good people.
They're good folks. And yeah.
There's a beautiful simplicity to his character and how it was written in there. Like,
Yeah.
that's perfect. So Harry takes up the sword and realizes he's already starting to feel the effects of the plague. And he instructs Michael and Shiro that they're going to the airfield, and that they're going to hitch a ride. Then his whoever this magical person
Mysterious.
is, he's smart and he'll
mysterious
figure out to be there.
Uber that's coming for them.
Yeah.
What did you ask Murphy to arrange for you, Dresden?
Like, what did she think was so dumb? She's like,
what
really?
could it have
Really? You
been?
really want me to do this?
Yeah. Well, it's gonna because he's kind of freaking out when Shiro's like, no, take this, and he's like, I don't know where to, and he's like, no, you'll know who to give it to, and I was like, dude, but yeah,
That's a burden.
And he can't say no. Like, it's Shiro's dying wish, and this is what he's given. So yeah, so off they go. So he's already freaking out about this.
Well,
like,
and they
not
don't
know
have
what
much
to do.
time because he's already feeling cursed.
Yeah, and then, like you say,
they gotta go.
I was like, exactly. He's like, can you imagine? You know, we're all talking about like, oh, when he was tortured and tired and sore and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, same thing. I'm like, we have a day where you think you get a cold, and you're like, I don't want to do anything. I'm like, can you imagine? Like, yeah, you really like the flu. Like, you start getting like aches and pain.
I couldn't carry a shroud out of a hotel trying to avoid the fallen, and now you want me to carry a sword to the fallen?
Well, yeah, it's like now I got to go and do all ick again, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't feel like showering if I'm sick, and now I got to go fucking do all
Save
this.
the world.
Save the world shit. Like, and I can't do it from a chair on my bed.
So they get to the tarmac, and Harry uses his pentacle to signal their ride with a bright blue light. And the helicopter with none other than Gentleman Johnny Marcone,
Hello.
Along
along with Guard and Hendrix, have arrived to pick them up.
Yeah. What are you doing? Signaling who? All right. What ride? So, and again, I love how he's like this too. He's like, we'll just go to the airfield because he's a smart guy. So again, it's like he wasn't able to make any prearranged whatever because he had Murphy get a hold of him for him. So they don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's like, I'm just going to go out here and start flashing my light. Marcone's going to get it. He's going to know that's us. We're going to know that's him. It's like, fuck you guys and your planny plans and your sneaky sneaks and your, So, yeah, hop on board my handy-dandy helicopter.
They're like, so Dresden pretty much just figures Marcone would be willing to help do the financial investment he's already put into the shroud.
How badly do you want it?
Besides, plague being bad for business.
Yeah. Again, it's fantastic. It's so in character because Michael's like, he's a bad guy. He's not going to help. And Harry's like, no, I think he's got a reason to, And Marcone with always, it's just bad for business. There's no people to do business with. I can't do business. So let's not kill everybody.
Yeah.
It's like that was Spike's whole reasoning for ending the apocalypse. He's like, we like eating people. If there's no people, I've got no one to feed on. I don't want Angel to end the world.
You make a good point.
Harry updates Marcone about the train to St. Louis, and so Marcone instructs his crew where they need to go, and they prepare to take off. And I love this. This moment is so great. Now, if only we had a bit of Wagner to send us on our way. And Garden obliges and plays Flight of the Valkyrie. I love it. The best Apocalypse Now reference ever.
If we're doing this, we're doing it right.
Right? As long as we're going, we might as well go.
Who knew that Guard had such a sense of humor? Had that queued up. Oh, yeah? Got this.
Right?
I'm already waiting for it.
Right? She's like, oh, funny you should ask.
Let's go, boys.
But yeah, and I love how he just has a quick, he's just like, da-da-da, and Marcone's like, okay, strap in, boys, let's go get the shroud,
I mean, you called Harry pragmatic, but Marcone, no one's more pragmatic than Marcone. Dude gets shit done.
No nonsense there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, which is probably why it's funny where they keep going, I don't like you, but he's like, Marcone's got really good resources, though.
Birds of a feather.
He can plan, he's got money, he just, I'm gonna have to go through all this shit if I want to get a, helicopter from the cops, but Marcone can just show up and do it for us. Right? Not bound by the same constrictions. So.
It's great to have the guy who can just outsource it all.
Yeah, right?
This concludes our episode 10.28, the Barabbus Switch. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.